In this video I want to talk about what we're reading this year for our history and how we're going to do things. And if you like what you see in this video, you can actually read along with us. I've put our reading schedule on the blog, so if you head over to our blog you can get that for free and you can read along with us if you'd like. The link for that is in the description box below.
So the way that we teach history is very simple. We get together around the kitchen table and we read from one of our history books together as a family. And then at the end of that reading, I ask the children to give me a narration to tell me back what they've heard. Now, when it comes to choosing books for your children, whether it's history or any other subject, I would always recommend that you choose books that you enjoy reading yourself. There is nothing I enjoy more than snuggling up in a lull during the day with a cup of tea and reading one of my children's history books. For this year's history, I'm excited that we are going to be focusing on British history and on Islamic history, particularly focusing on the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So for British history, we have chosen to use People of History by R.J. Untitled, and we've also chosen to use The Story of Britain by Patrick Dillon. And for Seerah, for the life of Prophet Muhammad, we're going to be using the classic Muhammad by Martin Lings. Now don't worry if I've been going a little bit too fast with the titles of all these books. You can find the full book list on the blog post, which is linked in the description box below. So this is People in History by R.J. Untitled. This is one of the main spine books that we are using, and it is filled with the most delightful stories of historical figures from Britain, from Roman times through to Alexander Fleming. The stories are so well written and they're absolutely captivating. There are a few lovely illustrations in there as well. Now, The Story of Britain by Patrick Dillon. This is very similar to the previous book, except it was written and published more recently. The stories are also a little bit shorter, but it does cover more historical figures. There are also some lovely timelines included, some beautiful illustrations. I found that my children found the language both interesting and easy to understand, and it's been a great way of transitioning them into more difficult texts. Muhammad, his life based on the earliest sources by Martin Lings. Although the language in this book is quite complicated and complex, the chapters are short, making it suitable for younger children. I'm really excited to start this with my family. And then after their narration and after the reading, the children might take a look in their atlas or look on the globe for the places mentioned in the story, and they might also want to add to their book of the centuries.
Another book that I love is Our Island Story, and this is the book that's recommended for the early years in Ambleside Online, and we were using this last year but we've decided not to use it anymore. If you want to know more about this book, why we stopped using it, and also my thoughts on Story of the World and A Child's History of the World, which are two other very popular history curriculum, then I have made a video about that and I'll leave the link for that in the description box below.
So in addition to read alouds and narration, in addition to map work and the book of the centuries, my eldest son, who is 8, will also be working his way through some independent reading. He'll be reading from historical fiction and from biographies of historical figures at the time. I haven't pre-read all of these books yet, and I would always advise you to pre-read any book that you give to your child for independent reading, especially if you're not familiar with the author. Now, these are just a small selection of the books that we have. There are more that he can choose from, and the full list is available on that blog post I spoke about previously. The hope with him for reading these books is that it will allow him to create a deeper connection with the people of the past, and particularly with their noble character traits.
you found that video useful and you got some ideas for things to do with your family. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. And I hope that if you are going to read along with us, you will share photographs of your experience and what you thought of all the books and things on social media. Just use the hashtag OMHhistory, and then I'll be able to find your photos if you do share them on Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, don't forget to get that reading schedule off the blog. And if I've missed any books out that you guys really love, then please let me know in the comments below, because there are so many books in the world. I don't know them all. I'd love to know more about what history books do you enjoy in your family, especially Islamic history, because I am struggling to find really good quality Islamic history books in English that are suitable for primary school age children. So if you know any, please leave them for me in the comments below so I can check them out too. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.